All right, we're at the 2019 Thor Motocross apparel launch, and I'm here with the king, my old friend Jeremy McGrath. So talking to my beer, Jeremy.
Sipping on some beers. Yes, he is.
Just a couple.
Looks like I need to actually go get me a beer. Maybe.
I know, you got a water in your hand.
I was going with that, but.
All right, so the new 19 stuff is pretty wild.
Yeah.
And I think about all the gear that you've worn through your career. How does this rate compared to the wild?
It's so funny because I actually got on Thor kind of late, right? I mean, I didn't race much, a couple years in Thor, but you know, even then was such a long time ago. But the gear seemed like it was pretty ahead of, you know, a lot of other gears at least, and you know, it's crazy to see how far it's come. I mean, you can walk around the building here, see all the new stuff, super cool. Obviously, there's some cool, unique sets that, you know, that's pretty different, which I like. And, you know, some of this stuff goes in rotation over years, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Thor's always been steadily at the top. And I think whoever's, you know, they got some great designers, and the new stuff looks sweet. I mean, I just ran at Mammoth, I was digging it.
Yeah. Think about the way the gear has changed over the years. Like now, think about how, like, athletically cut everything is.
Right.
Think back to when you first got on Thor and how baggy the jerseys were. Pretty crazy, huh?
Well, it was crazy. It's crazy to think about that because, I mean, the styles then were kind of like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, now all the like leaner cuts and everything, they don't work well like for fat kids like myself.
Oh, come on, dude.
So,
You're like a skinny guy now.
So, I love the styles, but I just got to maintain my, you know, my figure to be wearing this stuff. So, anyways, the gear's cool. I'm digging it. You know, like I just said, I just had a good time racing Mammoth. The gear worked really well and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm stoked.
Nice. I think that whole anniversary set that was black with the gold lettering. That helmet you have that matches that. Ooh.
Yeah, you know, it's funny when Thor came out with the gold stuff, I was like, oh man, I got to make a kit out of this, and I actually have some gold and like chrome gold graphics and everything that I actually never got to shoot with because it changes so quick, and I was like a little slow to react. But I'm certainly digging the new Troy Lee paint job that I got on my Bell helmet, and you know, the gold is just, everyone's kind of digging it, and everyone wants it as a new replica. So we'll see what happens on that, but yeah, that black kit with the gold that was pretty cool. Yeah.
You've always had super sick helmets through your career. Obviously, that's a product of your friendship with Troy Lee. But like, as a fan these days, isn't it kind of like a bummer to see everybody wearing these like stock paint jobs? I mean, where'd the paint jobs go?
Well, yeah, as I always try to be different and unique, and you know, try and choose my own path and do all this stuff, and just kind of separate myself from the rest of the guys. And that's one of the things we did always with the helmet. So I'm lucky to be, Troy's one of my best friends, and to be, you know, have the creative side of him and myself sitting together to make some of those cool helmets. It's just, it's quite a history. But yeah, so it's frustrating, you know, because you want to see, I mean, I know we're all fans of the sport. We want to see, you know, we want to see a guy like Aaron Plessinger, who's so funny, right? We want to, you know, sometimes you can bring out some of that stuff with creative ideas with your helmet or whatever, and like, honestly, years ago, it used to be like the last creative thing you could have on your body would be your helmet, right? And now with the energy sponsors and stuff, it's gotten a little different, and the teams control the helmet and stuff like that. So I'm fortunate still to be able to mix in some of my own flavor on my Monster helmet, of course. But yeah, I would love, you know, it's kind of a product of your expression, and you know, again, it was a great era to grow up racing and stuff like that. But you know, the helmet manufacturers have also gotten so good,
a lot better, that
the graphics and stuff that they come with stock are awesome. But you know what? They still aren't like specific to each rider. So as a fan, we would always love to see more of that. But you know, it still sort of separates me from the rest.
Yeah. I always wanted to ask you, the Dingleberry helmet.
Yeah.
When you raced with that, could you feel them hitting your neck?
No, you can never. That was a one-time helmet I wore at Anaheim that year. I think it was '96 maybe.
Was it the bottom of a lamp? Like a?
No, well, they sell those strips. You can put those on it. You can put some on your car if you want.
my headliner.
Yeah,
right?
you can put some on your visor right here, maybe. The funny thing is we came up with that idea sitting in Troy's office. It's super funny because we always were just trying to think of stuff that was just funny, make people laugh. And we never actually considered when you put it on. When I put it on, it looked like I had no neck. So it looked like kind of strange because it hung down like this, and you're like, the photos are always funny unless you're like, my helmet's turned or something like that. But yeah, it was quite an era being able to do that funny stuff like that. And some of them were good and some just were floppers. So I don't know.
The one with the crown with the big pieces coming off the top, I think that was just a parade lap helmet.
That was a parade lap helmet, but the thing weighed like 20 pounds. So I'm surprised I even agreed to wear that thing because it's like, I mean, it could have broke my dang neck. Yeah. But again, we were always just trying to come up with stuff different. So that was one of the ones. That was probably one of the. It looked cool sitting there on a stand, but it was one of the ones that was a bad idea to be riding in.
Yeah. All right, let's switch to bikes a little bit, dude. The 19 KX450 is pretty badass.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've been around so long that you see new bikes and you're like, yeah. Well,
same here. Like,
right, you ride all of them all the time.
Totally jaded.
Yeah, and so we get this thing of like, oh yeah, what's gonna happen now? And Cowie like blew it out of the box this year. I mean, that thing's awesome. The first time I rode it was at Eli's house. We did the intro up there for photos and stuff. And his house is at 6,000 feet, and the motor was so strong. I was really impressed, and so every time I've gotten on it since, it still surprises me. Obviously, it's cool to have electric start. Everyone's going that direction,
especially our age.
Yeah, I call it the old guy button, you know. But it's funny because, you know, like what, 10 years ago, we would have said electric start, man. That's for off-road racers.
Yeah.
Well, now if you don't have it, you're way off pace. So it's good that Cowie came up with that. You know, got on board with that. But as far as the bike goes, the chassis, the suspension, the new fork, got rid of the air fork, back to the spring fork. Bike's killer. I'm thoroughly impressed.
Yeah. So. Have you started messing with yours yet? Built one up?
No, I have a stock one, but I haven't started building it yet. Honestly, the new bike comes with 8-kit. It's almost like 8-kit internals in the bike. So, I mean, I don't really know how much you're going to have to do to the thing. Probably, you know, throw a pipe on it and maybe tune your suspension up for yourself, for your weight or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty sweet.
All right, for 2000,
what's your opinion of it?
I love it.
You love it?
Like, you know, my 18 was super dialed.
Yeah.
Pretty close. Like
really? It's right on par with your good like setup bike.
Yeah, I just I actually I put a pipe on it last week.
I get to ask him some questions now.
I put a pipe on it last week and I raced on Sunday with the stalker.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You know that happens. In Mammoth, not at the vet races last, you know, a month ago. I rode a stock pipe up there and it had a good bottom. So I mean, you know, you never know what you're gonna get out of some of those things.
Yeah. Between now and next year, when can fans still see you racing moto? At the Trans Am, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll give you that one. Yeah. Just come to the Trans Am and check me out. We had a blast in the last one, so that was a good time. I mean, I don't really race moto, so you'll have to be in California, probably like riding at one of the local tracks. But I still ride plenty. I just don't race. So I would say probably Trans Am the next time we'll be out on the starting gate anyway.
Cool. All right, thanks for the time, buddy.